Yay, thank you. Thanks everyone for being here. Thanks so much for your leadership in doing the beach captain role. Let's see, can I share my screen? I think I can. Share, and then I think all right, let me put this in display. So, how many of y'all have seen trash in our waters before actually signing up to pick it up? You guys can wave your hand if you've seen it, or you can raise your hand on the Zoom. Have you guys seen stuff floating around in our waters? I see Gillian waving. I see Barry waving. Oh, I see Chandler's hand. Okay, yeah. I am gonna bet that a lot of that garbage that you all have seen in the water is plastic. And that's because 80% of the marine debris and the garbage that we see in our waters is plastic. I've seen a lot of statistics about plastic that's a little scary. Stop me if you've heard this one. Every year, a garbage truck full of plastic, or sorry, every minute of every hour, the equivalent of a garbage truck of plastic is dumped in our waters. I'm seeing some nods. I've also heard a stat that it's 2 dump trucks. And I've heard the stat that every year 8 million tons of plastic is dumped into our waters globally. I see a lot of nods too. You all know this, right? The scary thought is, what if by 2050 there are more pieces of plastic, more plastic by weight in our water than fish, right? And that's why we're here today. So I'm going to talk not about the problem, but about the solution. And it's going to build on what Gillian talked about today, because going out and cleaning up plastic is part of the pollution, but there's other ways to stop it at the source. So my name's Alyssa. I am the policy manager at Puget Soundkeeper, and I'm excited today to just give you a quick update of some of our recent plastics legislative successes. And I'm going to talk about some of our upcoming plans to implement system-wide changes to stop plastic pollution here in Washington, and how you all can help if you so choose. You're already doing a huge role by coming and being beach captains and helping out. But if you feel so inclined, there's more. So first, I'm going to talk a little bit about strategy. There's a couple of different strategies we use to work on water pollution. I'm just going to talk about 3 of them today. There's a lot more than 3, but one of them is to ban harmful products. You have a harmful product that's polluting water, whether it's a chemical or a source of plastic or a type of plastic, you can ban that product so long as there's safer alternatives available. There's another strategy: implement systems change. Change a system, a flow, or a process, or how something functions so that a harmful product or chemical can't become pollution, right? Just keep it out of our water. And then the third one that Gillian's been talking about with cleanups is to clean up what's there. Chances are, once you turn off the tap to pollution, there's still going to be a problem in the water that needs to be addressed, legacy pollution. So that's a really critical component of our work as well. But I'm going to focus on the first 2 strategies and how we've implemented them just in the past few years, 2019, 2020, 2021, and gotten some big wins in the legislature. So back in 2017, we formed a coalition with some partners called Plastic Free Washington. We started off with 3 groups. Now we've got 7 on the steering committee and a much broader coalition of organizations involved with Plastic Free Washington. And that's so critical because it takes a village, right? It takes more than one person, one group, one idea. You need a lot of people coming together to help make change. And so that's what we wanted to do. We took a look at plastic pollution and how it was showing up in our communities. As Gillian showed that slide that had a list of the different types of products that we're seeing: plastic bags, plastic pieces, foam containers, cigarette butts, #1. So we took a look at those items and we started thinking about where can we affect change. And the first campaign we launched as a coalition was a campaign to help Washington transition to the use of reusable bags. Plastic bags are on the top 10 list of most frequently found problem plastic products throughout Puget Sound and around the world. And a lot of you probably know this. Plastic bags only last for about 6 minutes. That's their average lifespan, is just 6 minutes from when someone picks them up at the register and carries them home and puts them in the trash. And in the trash they go because they are not recyclable. Unfortunately, a lot of folks feel that they should be or are recyclable, and so they put them into the recycling bin. But the problem here is that they are a thin film, and that is not a recyclable material. What happens is it will gum up recycling facilities, and it can cause slowdowns that can be costly. So these items are very problematic for a lot more reasons. They do end up in our environment very frequently. They don't break down, they break up into little pieces. And so for many, many reasons, we need to transition off of these thin film plastic bags and start bringing our own bags. So that's what our neat hashtag BYO bag is all about. Bring your own bag. After launching this campaign, we identified legislative champions, worked with them, introduced the bill in 2019, and in 2020, we were able to get it across the finish line. We are so excited about this. The Reusable Bag Act will ban thin film plastic bags from grocery and retail stores. Once you get to the register, you'll have an option to purchase for an 8-cent charge, either a reusable paper bag or a thicker reusable paper or a reusable plastic bag. Think those really thick bags that you get at some retail stores that you can keep for such a long time because they're a lot thicker than those thin film plastic bags. So there are some exceptions in the bill for some food products, hot foods, newsprint, newspaper wrap, but those ubiquitous plastic bags are going to be gone. The 8-cent charge is there to help compensate the retailer. That is a charge that they get to retain because they are going to be having to pay for these bags. Now, implementation was originally scheduled to be back in June of 2020, but because of the pandemic, Governor Inslee delayed implementation. Implementation is going to happen soon. Governor Inslee recently announced that this law will go into effect October 1st. So everybody should get ready and prepare to bring your reusable bags, and try not to accumulate too many. I just saw an article recently about the problem of too many retail stores giving away cotton bags, which has its own problems, but it doesn't mean that we don't want to use reusable bags instead of these plastic bags. After the Reusable Bag Act was passed, we shifted gears, and this year we were able to pass another bill, which we lovingly referred to as the Plastics and Recycling Bill. The law that passed has a much longer title. And with this law, we decided to run with numerous strategies, rather than just the one strategy of banning a product. We wanted to implement systems change too. So the final bill that ended up passing and being signed into law just this May by Governor Inslee does 4 different things. It bans 3 or so types of plastic products that you see on the screen. These are polystyrene, expanded polystyrene foam, commonly called styrofoam. And the products that are on the screen here are ones that we often find on cleanups or find evidence of on cleanups. So the foam packing peanuts, the foam takeout containers, and the foam coolers are going to be prohibited starting 2023. But you can't ban yourself out of this problem, or any problem, maybe. So other pieces of this bill go towards systems change. We're requiring that, the bill will require that plastic utensils and condiment packages, little ketchup packages, mustard packages, those are made of plastic, unfortunately. So moving forward, consumers will need to ask for those at the store. They will need to request for those in their takeout bags. They will not just be given without request pursuant to this law. And there's going to be a new minimum recycled content requirement for certain products, personal care products, trash bags, beverage bottles, and home cleaning products. Ramping up over the next few years, there are going to be increasing recycled content requirements, meaning that they can't be all virgin materials. These plastic products are going to have to use some of the recycled plastic that's coming through our recycling system. This is an example of a systems change. And why this is important is because if you increase the demand, you can increase the supply. And what folks may not know is that only about 9% of the total amount of plastic that we produce is ever recycled. That is such a small number, 9% of all the plastic. So what we want to do is create a market for recycled plastics by requiring less virgin materials to be used and requiring that they use this recycled plastic. So that's going to increase efficiencies, ideally, in our recycling system to make sure that we're recycling more of our plastics. So there'll be more recycled content to put into these bags. And the final, or products, not just bags, beverage containers and more. The final piece of the bill is an interesting one that a lot of folks, when I tell them about it, they go, oh my goodness, I did not know this. So has anyone here, raise your hand or put up your hand on your screen, seen what's called a chasing arrows symbol? I don't have a picture of it on the screen, but it shows 3 arrows chasing each other in a triangle shape. Emma raised her hand right away. I see Barry. I see some other folks. Yep, I see Avias. So that symbol does not mean that the product is recyclable. That symbol just goes on all plastics. It is meaningless. And so we have, as part of this bill, removed the requirement that that symbol be put on plastic packaging. There was a requirement that it be included on packaging, but many people, 7 in 10 polled, get confused and look at that symbol, whether it's the arrows or just even a triangle shape now. It's become so associated with the arrows, and they feel it's recyclable, but it's not. You need to check with your municipal facility to see what is actually recyclable. Oftentimes they'll include just an image for you by city or by county that shows what goes in the bin and what has to go in the garbage. So now that's a lot about what we've already done, but what are we going to do next? I mean, my vision for the future is that we live in a place that is clean, where there's no plastic in our waters, no trash in our waters, and where we reduce, reuse, and recycle to the maximum amount possible. That's me. That's what I'm hoping for. I'd love to see that world, right? Well, there is a system that might be able to help us get there. It's called extended producer responsibility. This is a policy approach where producers or manufacturers of products like plastic bottles, plastic containers, and other products too, where those producers or manufacturers are given the financial and or the physical responsibility for treating and disposing of their products. So it takes the responsibilities off of consumers, you and I, for paying for the end life of these products. Because right now we pay a fee to our municipality to take care of our waste and to provide us curbside pickup for our recyclables. But in an EPR system, that shifts to the manufacturer. They are the ones that need to pay for it and handle it. Under those systems, you can provide incentives to prevent waste. You can promote more efficient and eco-friendly design or require it, and you can support the achievement of public recycling and materials management goals. So if that sounds a little confusing, because it took me a while to really kind of research and understand what EPR is and does, I've included this quick little video here from Story of Stuff that they helped our coalition create. And let me know if there are any visual or audio issues.
I can't hear anything.
Yeah, can't hear anything.
Okay, can't hear. Let me pause. And see if I can get to the menu bar to troubleshoot. Let's see. Audio. Share sound. Okay, we'll try this one more time. And if it doesn't work, we might just have to play it through without the audio, but there are subtitles, so hopefully that will be all right. So back to display mode. Let's skip through again here. There we go. Give it a second try. Woot. So with that, I'm hopeful that that pumped folks up, because it always kind of gets me in the feels. I just love the idea of a future where we can use less virgin materials, where we can have more of our products actually being recycled and not becoming waste, less products ending up in our landfills and our environment, and shifting those costs to the producers and the manufacturers. If this sounds like a good idea to you, I hope you will join me for a 3-part Advocacy 101 series coming up just around the bend. We're going to have a series of 3 events. Today is sort of our soft kickoff. The first official Advocacy 101 event will be Wednesday, September 29th from 5:30 to 6:30. The second will be October 20th, also a Wednesday, 5:30 to 6:30. And the last will be a workshop. We're hoping to have this in our office on November 10th, again, 5:30 to 6:30. We will see. It may end up needing to switch to Zoom just because of the pandemic, but we'll see how things go. Now, as if the joy of learning about advocacy were not enough in and of itself, we are going to be giving away free goodies for the first 25 people who sign up to participate in our event series. You will be receiving a free Brown Bear car wash coupon. And for those who make it all the way through to the end, do the workshop and send in a letter to their elected official, well, the first 10 folks to do so are going to get a free Soundkeeper Octo t-shirt. Ooh, the crowd goes wild. So thank you for bearing with us tonight. I hope that we will all see you out soon on the water on a patrol or at our upcoming Advocacy 101 series. And I'm happy to answer any questions about any of the policies that I've just talked about. I'm going to exit my full screen so I can see the chat and stop sharing.
That was great, Alyssa. Thank you very much. It's hard to look at those awful pictures, and but then to see that, you know, some things are getting done gives us faith and hope.
Yay! Well, I hope you'll join us and be part of the solutions. So I appreciate all of y'all. Where do we sign up for Plastics 101? Question from Leanna. I believe we're going to be taking those by email, either Gillian or myself. So I will type my email again in the chat. It is Alyssa, ALYSSA @PugetSoundkeeper.org. All right, and some folks have to drop. Thanks for joining us, Chandler and all.
Thanks, Gillian. I appreciate everything you shared as well. Will we get your PowerPoint by chance by tomorrow? I got to get my email out tomorrow.
Yes. I'll have the recording for you and send that.
That would be great. I just wanted some of those lists and everything were just really helpful. So perfect. Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah, thank you.
All right, well, if there's no further questions, we can all end 15 minutes early and you all can go back to enjoying your evening.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Thanks so much.
Yeah, thank you
Bye.
guys.
Bye.
All right, bye everybody. All right.